This is an Evergreen Media Network studio production.
Deplorables are back in the house, and Cindy, we added a fifth.
Okay, let's see if he's going to make it.
Hold on. What is John?
Oh, look at John.
What's he got?
What does it say?
It's a Trump hat. You hiding Nomi underneath the Trump hat? You know?
Nomi's here too.
We got Nomi. Yeah. Nomi gives the high sign.
No, it's election day in Florida.
It's we'll get there, Vern. Relax, man. Relax.
Listen, we got to let Vern talk when he wants to talk, because he never talks.
He's all sugared up, man. He's got the Muslim drink.
Busy chewing.
The Muslim candies he's drinking today. What would we call those things? Alabites.
Alabites.
And it says on the box, it doesn't melt in the desert for some reason.
Wow.
We're at a minute 18 and we're already thrown off.
Alu snack bar? Oh, okay, we'll go with that. Okay. But we got a new guy in this house.
Yeah.
We got to like this. Listen, I don't like when there's two producers in here, first of all.
That's why we don't give him that title.
Yeah, we got Cindy. We got
I don't know. Does Cindy need reinforcements?
Nah, she don't need no. 2013 we've been together. Come on.
Right, yeah.
Ben doing
it.
Ben doing it. Yeah.
But we got Will the Pill. We call him Will the Pill.
Will the Pill.
Ex-drug dealer. He just got out of the house today. You know, it's his first day back on the street. We're going to get rid of the pill part because, you know, he's reformed now. He's good to go.
Work release,
But
He looks kind of young. Was he in juvie?
Went in early, got out late.
We're selling that stuff on college campuses.
We don't ask where he came from or where he's going.
But yeah, we're back. It's another Tuesday, another terrible Tuesday. We're back here. Look at Vern. He looks like the Godfather sitting in the corner with the gold.
I love those glasses.
I'm telling you.
I want them.
I'm telling you, man.
Top Gun.
Where'd you get them? Where'd you get those? One of them Chinese websites again, too? He buys everything off these Chinese websites, man. This is like the pro-American guy, but everything he owns is from China. Where'd you get them? Tell me the truth. Where'd you get them?
Amazon.
You lying son of a... He got it from the Temu.
The jungle website.
Temu, what's it called? Temu? Is that it?
TikTok.
Temu, yeah.
Temu, right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Listen, and this is what makes me mad more than anything, right? Because we're working on the job site, and guys are looking for certain drill bits and stuff like that, or certain bits for their tools. And Vern comes walking over with this big case that has like 5,000 bits in it. And he pulls out the right one, and I can't stand it because it's all Chinese crap.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And... look at him. He sits there like he's the boss or something.
You own all Milwaukee tools, and Milwaukee is owned by China.
You're out of your mind. You're in your conspiracy theories.
Makita. I told him go with Makita.
He ain't no good. He ain't no good. But we're back. And, you know, I know John's like, he's itching at the bit. But I got to tell you something. I'm off, John. I'm off. I'm in a slump. I'm a salesman, Cindy, and you know that.
What happened now?
I am not.
I thought you were on fire.
I was
last
on
week.
fire.
It was like $7 million you sold in an hour. What happened this week?
I can't sell a pacemaker to an old lady this week. It's bad.
Really?
It's bad.
It was the Ides of March the other day, so you made it out alive from that. I've had a really bad couple of days too.
Maybe you got to try another corner or a higher skirt.
I lowered my prices.
I was going to say, lower the prices a little bit.
I'm down to $475 now, and they're not biting. It's terrible. You know, but, hey, listen.
A 2 for 1.
Do I need to
We
fix
love
that
you long
mic?
time.
Too old for that. Too old for that.
No comment.
Vern, what conspiracy theory are you looking up? What do you got?
Did you vote today, Vern? It's Florida primary, isn't it?
Yes.
I asked you.
I was yes.
He just looks at me like a dummy.
Well, Vern and I have our own conversation going
He's still
on.
chewing.
He's like a cow in the corner. That's what we're going to call him.
Kristi Noem recently passed what's called a hate speech bill.
Hate speech bill.
As did Ron DeSantis before, and Ron DeSantis actually went to Israel to sign this bill.
Oh, here we go. Oh, my God.
This is a fact.
I know. I've heard it for a year straight. Go ahead.
Okay, so now Kristi Noem is doing it, and so are other states.
Did she go to Israel, too?
No, she did not go to Israel.
All right.
But, you know, the wording is basically they can shut you down for freedom of speech if you target one group, I won't say Israel, and say things that that may be factual and have evidence based on it, but they consider it anti-Semitic.
So you're mad at Kristi Noem today?
Oh no, I'm not mad at Kristi Noem. She's hot.
So I know that's why you can't be mad at her. She's like,
Wow.
she should be president.
Wow.
I think.
Yeah.
I'm just pointing out the fact that
That's
a lot
how
of
we lose all the
Republicans are-
secrets.
The Republicans are doing these things, and these are contrary to our Constitution.
Well,
You don't need hate speech laws.
No.
no, you don't. I
No.
mean, I'm sitting there and I sit in the office today, actually beginning of this week, and I started reading I have my little book. It has the Declaration of Independence and the
Oh,
Constitution in it,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I started reading the Declaration of Independence, and I'm like, man, this government is getting away with murder.
Yep.
Absolute
Yeah.
murder.
Yeah.
And we have the absolute right to kick him in the ass out of here. And nobody's doing anything. We do nothing.
Yeah.
We do nothing. We just let it happen.
Yeah.
But I'm angry today, so I got just to give it to John. So John, what you got, man? What do you got? What
All
are you
right,
sitting
well,
on the
there's a
fence
couple
with?
things on the radar screen. Did you happen to catch the? We're going along with the freedom of speech thing that Vern's talking about. This rub between Elon Musk and Don Lemon.
Yes.
Apparently,
Yeah.
Don Lemon, who was been
that
exiled
idiot.
from
Oh,
CNN,
God.
Yeah.
he signed some kind of contract with Elon and X to have some kind of show on his media feed there, and they had some kind of conversation. I happened to watch it yesterday, I believe, where Don Lemon's trying to put Musk's hands to the fire, saying, "You know what? You're letting your free speech platform can be harmful to people," and Musk is telling him, "But we are a free speech platform, and I'm not shutting anybody down." And he's like,
Right.
"Well, why would you allow this? It could end up hurting somebody." He goes, "We allow everything, unless
Right.
it breaks the law.
Right.
Right.
I'm not shutting anybody down."
Right.
It got to the point where, long story short, Elon canceled his contract, so Lemon's
Yeah,
not
one
on
show
X.
in, yeah.
He had one show.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he
one
canceled.
show and out.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
I can say yes,
He
right?
tried
Can I
he
say
tried
yes?
to
No,
keep
no,
his
no.
hands
Yeah,
to
you
the
can say
fire,
that.
and
He's
Musk
an
is like,
ass.
"You're not listening. You're not
Yeah.
listening to what I'm saying."
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, if it's against the law, we will shut it down.
Right.
As
Right.
long as it's not against the law, we're not going to do anything about it.
Yeah, that guy.
That's
First of all, why would you even sign that idiot to anything?
Yeah.
Why would
I
you
know.
give that guy a
Well,
show?
Well, you gotta get, just like give him a chance, kind of thing. But yeah, I get
it's
you.
like, come
yeah.
on,
Well, you're
man.
supposed to spread the brush evenly, so you got to give
Right.
them a voice too, or
Right.
else you're profiling them.
Correct.
So you.
Yeah.
But he shot
No, but-
himself in the foot.
But you know what?
Again.
He hasn't changed from CNN. He's still
No.
the same, false speaking, whatever he
Race
is.
baiting.
Yeah, I mean that's constant, you
Yeah.
know. And
And,
he gave him a show. I'm like, come on, Elon, you can do better than that.
in that interview, there was only one real African in there. You know who it was?
No.
Elon Musk.
Musk.
He's from South Africa.
Yeah, he's
He
from
was born in South Africa,
yeah.
correct?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
But what does it have to do with anything?
It was a joke.
This guy,
Yeah.
you're a troublemaker. You know that? He's pulling the African stuff already. You
Well, he
know?
was African.
Oh man, I'm upset.
But you know what? He did it, and I can't talk for Elon Musk certainly because I don't know him. But I mean, the guy hung himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
that's probably why he did it,
Yeah.
kind of thing. I gave
Musk
him a
was.
chance.
I mean, Lemon was trying to get him to cave, and he's like, "You're
No.
not understanding. You're not getting it. If
Yeah.
it goes against the law, that's
Who-
it.
who-
End of story."
Who was his buddy, Chris from CNN? They got fired too.
Oh, Chris Cuomo.
Mhm.
Chris
Oh,
Cuomo.
oh.
Give Chris the show.
Yeah,
You know, he can curb himself a little bit. You know, I
he
thought
got
was a
picked up by
class act.
somebody. He's doing something somewhere.
He's
Yeah.
doing-
Yeah.
What was that?
I just saw an interview with him and Tucker. Tucker interviewed him.
Nice. I thought he was
Yeah,
alright.
Tucker
I
interviewed.
didn't think he was that bad. He just got stuck on that stupid CNN train. You know, it's so wild. Like I'll go home and I'll turn on Fox, and then when I'll switch over to CNN, and it's like, man, how can two sides be so opposite
Isn't that
Yeah.
crazy?
about the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
The truth sits there right in front of you, but you spin it to whatever you decide you want
That's
to talk
the-
about.
It's so wild.
That's
yeah.
the perfect lead into my next topic,
Oh, here
Kevin.
we go.
Okay,
Yeah.
'cause
I just
Oh,
mentioned it
please.
before we went on the air.
Right. John
Yeah.
wanted
The
to be
whole
the head of this.
bloodbath.
So, yeah.
Bloodbath gate.
Now you got to
So
explain. all this.
apparently,
what is the
okay,
bloodbath?
apparently when our boy Trump had his rally in Ohio, I
Mhm.
believe it was Ohio, he was talking to the auto workers, or talking about the auto industry.
Yes.
Okay, and he was talking about how all the work is being built, all the cars that are being built in Mexico, and
Right.
that China is currently creating 2 huge manufacturing facilities in Mexico.
Mhm.
And Trump made it clear that if things go the way they go, and China's gonna, he said, he even called out the president of China. He said, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna get 100% tariff on any vehicle that you try to sell us
Wow.
Right.
on top of it. And he said, he goes, if I don't get elected, he goes, the auto industry is gonna be a bloodbath.
Right.
Okay. Now the
Yeah.
mainstream media, the guys you just mentioned,
Mm.
took that bloodbath out of context and basically said Trump said that if he doesn't get elected, there's going to be a bloodbath,
Mhm.
like
of course they did.
worse
Yeah.
than January
Right.
6th and
Another
everything else.
insurrection.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
who's
Yeah.
the lawyer that's going to do that case?
It's
So
absolutely
that's why
insane.
Right.
I believe that's why he's suing mainstream media right now, because
Okay.
of taking that out of context. Now, from what I understand, mainstream doesn't have a leg to stand on because it's been disproven that he didn't say that. It wasn't used that way. So they just look stupid right now as far as that's
And,
Yeah.
and they did a montage, I think it was on Benny Johnson, and they did a whole montage of other politicians using the term
The
bloodbath.
same thing.
And they made the definition of a bloodbath was based on economic turmoil.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
That was a good
We were
explanation.
just waiting for a little bit more.
Thanks,
I was
Bert.
like,
That was
okay,
good, yeah.
What has he
yeah,
got?
yeah,
Taffy?
good,
Has he got taffy in his mouth? It's not like his teeth are sticking together.
That sugar, that Muslim sugar skipping on him over
Right.
there, you know? And the, what's it called again? Bay?
Bally
Alley
or
bites.
something.
Bali.
Bally. All right. You're going to get up and do
Shout out to Bally.
No, I think that's an excellent point because you can't really trust where you get your news from. Whether like, I
No.
think stories come out and they get manipulated and changed so many times, you're not even quite sure what the actual
Right.
truth is in a lot of these things. And Trump says a statement, it gets twisted, it gets replayed, it gets all over the place. I mean, it's just
And-
wild about news right now.
It's
And
almost
this
like
is-
if
this
you're
is
not
one
there.
of the things.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Kev. Go ahead.
It's almost like if you're not there when it happens,
Correct.
forget about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I don't know what happened because
Yep.
it's going to spin so many times.
Yep.
By the time it gets to your,
Yeah.
your station and your time you're watching.
It's called
got-
media manipulation.
Yeah,
Right.
and you've got to take the
Wow,
time
this
to investigate it, what you hear,
Right.
and make sure it's true,
Right.
because they do this all the time.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
one of the problems is the verification network. Okay, like most of us use Google. All right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been said for years that Google is part of the problem because
Yeah,
they're
right.
manipulating the news.
Google,
So it's like you got to wonder where you're going to get your information from. Now this is, I know we've touched on this topic a couple of times, mentioning AI.
Right.
Right.
If AI does what it's supposed to do, it's going to tell you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not, because it doesn't have a
Right.
horse in the race,
Correct.
Right.
depending on who's programming it to begin with.
There
know,
you go.
let me bring something
You
up real
know,
quick.
that's the whole thing. It depends on who the godfather to AI is going to be.
That's right.
And that's how you're going to know
Godfather.
which way they're going to roll.
Which family's getting their hands on it first?
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In
So
the New York Post today that came out, Google has been interfered in U.S. elections in the last 4 presidential
Right.
elections
For years.
Yep.
by manipulating their search engine and censoring Republicans and not the left. But they said, I believe it was like even though she lost, Hillary Clinton got 2.5 million more votes than she should have. still are lost.
Mhm.
But the point is
Well-
that they manipulate it.
Oh yeah.
Well, Google right now, as of today, is trying to tie in with Apple
Mhm.
on something. And I think it was that whole AI thing is what you were talking about, John. If Google and Apple actually marry up together, that's a bad thing,
Mhm.
you know. And that's all of our devices. If you think about it, most of the population has the iPads, the iWatches, and this, the that, you know. So you don't know what's being controlled by who and when.
Right.
You know, it's sad.
When
Yeah.
I,
It is sad.
when I typed in back in the 2016 election, how many Trump supporters were injured by leftists? Every article I got was the exact opposite of what I requested.
Yeah.
It was always the Republicans did something, or somebody did something. You know, MAGA did something. They didn't. I didn't ask for that.
Right.
I wanted to know the
Well,
number
Yeah.
here's the thing with as far as the Google. I'm sure we've all Googled for one reason or another. Now, I don't understand the entire parameter of how it works, but in order for you to be the first thing that pops up in your search, I think you pay extra for that if you're running a business or something like that. That you're
Yeah,
like,
you
right,
pay
right,
extra for
But
the
let- just-
research,
yeah.
let's just say will you throw any kind of example out there that you're gonna Google pencils, okay? All right, so the guy who paid top tier has got the pencils in the top much, but have you ever scrolled down after that first page? How many of you have ever clicked at the bottom and went to the next page
I do.
to see what else
Yeah.
Google is showing you?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So
Mhm.
there might be 5-6 pages of stuff, and the stuff that's real, that's true content, is back there. So Google's not saying they're not sharing it. It's just not. They're not putting it in your face.
Well, you're not.
Right.
You're not
You know what I
you're not
mean?
paying
So-
for it. That as a business,
Exactly. So
you
That's
wanna
how
be-
they're manipulating it.
Yeah.
And when you're searching it, you're only gonna who won the 2020 election? Boom. The first two say the same thing. All right, that's good enough for me, and
Right.
they won't look any further.
Right,
Well,
right.
their analytics turn around and say that most people won't go to the second or even definitely not the third page.
Right.
They stay
Yeah.
more to the first and second. And what it is if you Google most stuff, that you're going to see that the first top three are sponsored. So their ads.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to get past all
Oh, yeah.
that.
Right.
And then you got to get past the questions to the real websites and
Yeah.
whatever you're looking for.
And then, of course, they're tracking.
There's the name. Third page news.
third page news, there you go.
and then they're tracking you. So as you're doing the
Right.
searches, they're
Yes.
following you. I suggest you use a VPN, and also you could use the Brave search engine. They don't track you.
Right. And looking at it from like my generation too with social media, that's the thing, you know, Zuckerberg's been on trial for interfering in elections, and then Elon Musk took over X from Jack Dorsey because Jack, you could tell, didn't want anything to do with it. He's being influenced too much, too powerful if people were going after him. Elon takes over, tells everybody, forget about it. You know,
Right.
you're not going to influence me, just like what we just talked about a little while ago with his interview with Don Lemon. He's not letting anybody influence anything. X is going to be a true free speech platform. There's nothing, I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of influence in there, you know, either way, but that's going to be the clearest platform, because with Facebook and everything, you go back a few more elections too, Facebook has always been the one that's been in trouble for interfering and
Yes.
influeing and all that stuff. So
Well,
it's crazy.
To touch on Will just said, and I'm not going to call out your age, Will. You do have a driver's license, right?
I do.
Oh, okay. Permit? Just a
Sneakers are
permit?
older than him.
No,
Yeah,
I'll
I
take it,
know.
I'll tell you.
No, but if you recall, you guys go back with me now to a sadder time when COVID first came on the scene.
Mm.
And the first things that the mainstream was trying to tell you was that it's the younger generation that's going to doom us all. Okay, as far as COVID was concerned, because they're careless and they're not paying attention and this and
Oh,
that.
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
look,
Yeah,
I'm as guilty. I'm as guilty as everybody else when that BS started. That I was listening to everything that was saying. Look, I had to send guys home from my job that
Yeah.
tested positive and showed up to work. I'm like,
Right.
guys, I'm sorry, but you got to go home until we understand what's going on, or you got to
Right.
bring me some kind of clearance note
Yeah.
from your doctor. Okay, so now with that being said, we're listening to all the news anywhere we can get it to try and wrap our heads around A, what the hell this COVID is, and B, where can we get toilet paper? The two main things that we're trying to find out when whole thing was going on, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here and I remember saying to my wife, I'm like, you know what? If they think that the youth is the problem here, they're not getting this message. And Will just said it, because they're social media geared. They're not listening to commercials. They're not listening to the news. I remember Andrew Cuomo here in New York talking about he was on the news every day. He was on TV every day. And I'm like, you know what? If you don't stream this and interrupt YouTube videos to get this message out, who's going to see it?
Right.
If your target audience is social media based, look, my kids, they don't know what commercials are.
Right.
They pay Spotify commercial free, Pandora commercial free. They don't know what a commercial is.
Right.
True.
To them, it's noise they don't want to hear.
Listen, I don't blame them either.
Yeah.
Because every commercial is about, especially down here in Florida, every commercial is about drugs.
Right.
You know, and then their side effects.
Yeah.
Which is like,
But where to
And
get
that's
them?
only half of them. So
if
they
you
only
take
tell
them,
you
you're gonna
half of
die.
them.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and it's wild. I don't know. What's it like up north, John? Is it like that too? A lot of drug commercials?
Well, you know what? I'll be honest. As far as radio is concerned, I don't listen to terrestrial radio anymore. I put my satellite. I listen to Pandora or Spotify, but I use the free version, maybe because I'm a cheap bastard. I don't know. So I get the ads.
Well, that's why you're the goat.
Okay, I get the ads. I found out that my wife is paying for my kids' free subscription for them, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. I'm listening to the ads. Okay, so I do hear it now. True confession. Okay, I'm not a spring chicken any longer. But living through 9/11 here in New York, there was a time where I was glued to 1010 Wins Radio,
Right.
24/7. I listened to it at work. I listened to it in the car because you wanted to hear that was the up-to-date live news. So you could hear anything that was happening in the world, in New York, terrorist problems, whatever. So after that shock of living through 9/11, I was kind of glued to that. So I actually liked the fact that I was hooked into the real world somehow, even being on a job site. I can't compare to what you do, Kev, but sometimes I could be in a 12-story building with a freight elevator that's taking me up and down from the outside, and the only means of communication with the outside world is if somebody had a radio playing.
Right.
So if something were to happen, they would interrupt the broadcast to tell you something happened.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But these desensitized youth, and I'm pointing at you, Will, okay? Desensitized youth, how do you call it? They not only are they not interested, they purposely turn themselves off to it.
Right.
And I think that's a problem too.
Yeah, but you can have that argument with every new generation.
Yeah.
Everyone. I mean, didn't we do that in the 60s, 70s, 50s? You know, the long hairs,
we've all been here
everybody.
before.
Yeah, we have. We've all done
We've
it.
done this before.
We have.
And actually, Facebook has scrapped their news section completely. I think at the end of April, they're not even going to have a news section on Facebook anymore. I think they've gotten in trouble too many times to where they can't even put out any articles, no matter what outlet they're coming from. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned X. Is X going to be a new social media platform?
Well, that's Twitter. So
X
when
is Twitter.
Elon took it over, he renamed it X. Yeah.
I still don't know how to use the Twitter. I'm going to have Will show me after the show. I just got caught up on Instagram, so I'm not,
Yeah,
I'm still on MySpace, so I don't know what to do.
Wow. Wow.
Top friends and everything.
It's like, wow, man, but
Kevin's the only one there.
that's it. I'm like, where'd everybody go? I'm in a chat room by myself.
Right.
You know?
He's the IM. Wasn't it used to be instant message?
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's
AOL,
right.
AIM.
Yeah.
Listen,
AIM.
AIM.
On
Yeah, I
AOL.
remember. Listen,
Right.
I think the first social media thing was, remember when you picked up the phone and you had those chat phones back? You pick it up and somebody else is on there. It's like, hey,
Oh, the party line.
Yeah.
No. The first instant message was the telegraph. That's what my grandmother told me. It was.
let's get
It
Morse
was.
code back.
That's it.
I had an unusual phone call earlier today.
Okay, you gotta hold on. We
gotta
gotta
hold on.
go. You gotta hold
We're
on.
going to take a break. We always do this, Tim.
We
I
always
love
do.
this.
We want to do that.
Just when he's getting going. All right, we'll be back in a little bit, guys.
All right.
Bye.